Hey, what's up, guys? Kyle Gallon back from the video, and today I'm going to do my What If series. What If Naruto Was a Girl, Part 20. So, in the previous What If there, we do see the announcement of Jiraiya falling in battle there. So, we'll see. We kind of noticed the Jiraiya would mostly fall in battle. Technically, Akashi mostly brought Naruto there to talk to it, saying about Jiraiya actually falling in battle there. She's like, no, it's not true. There, he didn't fall in battle. Mostly technically breaking her heart there and stuff, and not only not breaking her heart, but technically, mostly she was technically heartbroken there because she was technically Jiraiya was technically a father figure from her and stuff like that. And she was telling more emotional because she is a girl in this series, mostly in this there. So mostly they kind of mostly they're trying to cheer her up there and stuff, and saying it's how Jiraiya was a great man and all that stuff there, and they were actually saying about that stuff there. Technically, she was mostly breaking down and stuff. Also, they go out and train there in Mount Bioko. Mostly Naruto trying to learn how to do Sage Mode there. The village gets attacked by Pain there. Pain was mostly attacking the village there and stuff. Technically, mostly Pain does his All Might push there. And mostly Naruto comes back. She's like, what you did this in my village there? Destroying this possibly the 5 out of the 6 pass there of Pain there, mostly destroying them all, and she mostly uses her mostly defeating Pain once and for all there with using the Rasengan there, mostly finishing them off there, and they mostly discusses to Pain there. She comes back to the village and becomes a hero. So that was in part 19. So it's going to part 20 there. So this is when the cloud, I guess you can say this is when the Raikage there, fucking smashes like, what? They took my little brother there, and it was Uchiha there. Mostly the same stuff actually happened in the original series. They send a Monoli and Momoli. Yeah, I finally got his name. Momoli and Farley's team there. So their sensei say you need to be best behavior and stuff like that. That still happens. Mostly they go to the thing there. He's like, they're like, we're Sasuke Uchiha, and then mostly Naruto's like, you're not gonna kill Sasuke, right? And stuff, and Sakura's like, yeah, you're not gonna kill him, right? He's like, well, he's the one that abandons us, and you're trying to offend him. You're mostly enemies also, and then mostly Naruto's like trying to stop it. She's like, Shadow Clone Jutsu, and then mostly catches the blade right there on her hand. She's like, well, this girl actually has some things there. He's like, you can't believe this thing there. We mostly know they joined the Akatsuki there. And they're like, wait, the Akatsuki, Sasuke joined him? And mostly Naruto's like, I know what these bastards are after they're the one who honestly took your sensei there, and they're trying to also go after me. Me and your sensei have something inside there. They're trying to go after and stuff. They're like, wait, huh? And she's like, take me instead there. And so they're like, wait, Naruto, what you doing there? And mostly Sakura's like, no, I'm not gonna let you hurt my best friend. They're like, butt out of the way, mostly knocking Sakura out of the way. There, mostly Sakura gets knocked out of the way. She gets knocked out of the way there, and technically Sakura gets knocked out of the way and stuff. And then she's like, and stuff. They're like, Naruto, why are you going with them? She's like, it's fine, Sakura. This kind of stay out. I can handle myself. And mostly Naruto there, mostly the girl ninja there, Higaway or whatever. Forgot what her name was. She mostly was pounding the crap out of Naruto there. She's like, tell where Sasuke, she has that bitch. She's like, she's like, he's a comrade from my village. I'm not gonna let you tell him. And then mostly Naruto's getting the beat the living shit out of her from the other ninja. Mostly it's beating the living shit out of her and stuff. Mostly Sai comes and catches her fist there, and he's like, why are you trying to hurt her and stuff? And then he's like, man, he's like, this guy's strong there. And then mostly Narco's like mostly beat up and crap. She's like, why are you mostly beating up on? Why are you mostly beating? She's like, ugh. She's like, I'm gonna beat on your ass and stuff. And then mostly they're like, mostly the sensei's like, oh, you really get into fights there. I thought you'd mostly better you two. Why you get into fights there and stuff like that? And then they're like, oh, Sensei, no, and stuff. She's like, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm mostly disappointed with you. And she's like, why are you disappointed with me? I know you get hot-headed sometimes, but you don't have to beat up on this girl here and stuff. And then mostly she's like, huh, that is Naruto Uzumaki. She's the one that saved the village, huh? He's like, oh, just thing there and stuff like that. So technically they walked off there. I think the Akashi thing, mostly Akashi was mostly taking Naruto to the tent there like he did with Naruto in the original series. And then mostly they were actually saying something about, they're like, oh, what you saw there? She's like, yeah, I saw something there. He's like, wait, what are you saying, Naruto and stuff? She's like, I saw my dad there and stuff. They're like, wait, what? Or not my dad. She's like, I seen the fourth Hokage there and stuff like that. And then she's like, it's mostly nice what he's saying. And they're like, what is he's saying to you? And she's like, well, technically, he's telling me he was proud of me and stuff there, and to be mostly to keep living on and stuff like that. And she's like, and then he's like, and mostly Kashi mostly get his eyes like, it's like, Sensei, you told her that and stuff like that. And then mostly it was saying, she's like, I know about the Max Man that happened 16 years ago. And then mostly they kind of mostly explain that there. So technically, they're like, we need to go out of the village there. So Donzo there, I think the Donzo stuff plays out the same. I don't really see too much happen with the Donzo stuff there. He becomes the sixth Hokage for the brief moment there when Tsunade is technically out of commission there. And he goes to the Land of Iron. So, Naruto there. I might see Naruto actually go into the... He's like, we need to sneak out of the village. And he's like, well, by Donzo's orders, they didn't want Naruto to leave the village there, like it did with Naruto in the original series. I might see that still happening. Kakashi and Naruto are saying, like, yeah, let's go. So, they mostly go there. They get to the Raikage there. And she's like, mostly Naruto and mostly Run. She's like, oh, this is Naruto. He's like, huh, this is the thing. He's like, get out of my way, girl. And so that's what the Raikage was saying. She's like, don't, Raikage. I don't want our villagers are fighting and no more stuff like that. And he's like, there's like, it's been a bloodshed for us for centuries there. And then mostly she walks away and she's like, don't kill him. Don't kill Sasuke there. He's like, Sasuke Uchiha needs to die there and stuff. She's like, no, I have a big feeling for him there. I love him there and stuff like that. He's like, wait, you love him? What is this thing, girl? And stuff like that. And then he's like, I've been having a crush on him ever since there, and stuff. He's like, love doesn't mostly compare. It's the thing there. He's still a rogue ninja, even if you love him or not. He is still a fucking rogue ninja. We still have a thing. So the Raikage doesn't really listen. He technically leaves. He leaves there and stuff. He technically leaves there and stuff. She's like, don't leave, don't let him kill him and stuff like that and stuff. Sakura technically follows them. Yeah, I still think Sakura still follows um, the thing there. I don't really see the kiss from Sakura there because technically this version of Naruto is a girl, so I don't really see them doing the kiss scene there like they did in the originals. She's like, "Oh Naruto, I love you." I don't see that happening. She might try to stop Naruto there. They mostly meet, and she's like, "Naruto, I can't let you do this there. Just a jackass. I don't want my best friend dating a jackass there." And mostly Sakura's like, and mostly Naruto's like, "You don't know how I feel from him. Mostly Naruto's like, I feel something really deep inside of me, Sakura, and you're not gonna stop me from bringing him back to the village there." And then she's like, well, fine, Naruto. I will stop him myself. He's like, no, Naruto's like, well, no, don't do, damn it. And she's like, well, we need to stop her and stuff. And they're like, yeah, and stuff like that. And then mostly Nagato's like, mostly grabbing. He's like, wait, what are you doing, Nagato? He's like, well, mostly in Akashi's orders, you can't really go after her and stuff. Like, she's like, let me go and stuff. She's like, no, and stuff. And then mostly Obito comes. He's like, oh, the Nine Tails is here. Come on, Naruto, come with me in there. Come be a little girl and come with me there, you little. Come on, little fox, girly fox, come with me. And then he's like, no, and stuff. They're like, what are you going to do and stuff? And then he mostly explains there. I might see that still happening. That still plays out the same. I think that plays out the same there. So when they go to the Tenchi Bridge, Sasuke versus Danzo. Mostly does the Five Kami Summit there. That still plays out the same. I still think the Five Kami Summit there plays out the same there no matter what. I don't see too much about that. But and also the Danzo Sasuke fight plays out the same. When technically Sakura gets right to the bridge there, he's like, I'm gonna kill you and stuff. I'm gonna say it plays out the same, and mostly Sakura trying to kill Sasuke. That still plays out the same though. Until Naruto saves her. She's like, he's like, and then mostly she gets cut. She's like, I know you can feel it, Sasuke and stuff. He's like, stop tampering me. He's like, well, we're gonna do this thing, Naruto. It's like, I don't care about you and stuff. She's like, yeah, you don't care about me? Why you stopped your attack against me there, Sasuke? She's like, and he's like, damn. He's like, I'm not trying to stop and attack you there. He's like, you get it? I don't care about you no more. And stuff. And then mostly, he's like, ooh. And mostly Nobuto is like, huh. Mostly you might want to get her, Sasuke. But he's like, well, I want to see her die there and stuff. And then mostly, technically, mostly Sasuke does the Chidori. Naruto does her Rasengan there. They hit there and collide. So this is where it might kind of be different there. She's like, I always can feel something for you, Sasuke. I always try to be it there. Technically, if you want to die, I will die with you. You be not the last Uchiha no more, and I won't be the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki no more, and stuff. And you can tell about this there. And mostly she's like, what are you talking about? And stuff. And he's like, once again, I have a feeling for you, and I loved you, Sasuke, and stuff like that. And mostly Naruto's actually saying this there. And then Sasuke's like, I don't see it no more. And then mostly he's like, I don't see it, and stuff like that. And then mostly breaks out of it. He's like, Naruto, mostly I will hold off the attack right now. And then mostly he's like, let's go, moderate. So I technically do it. And mostly he's like Nine Tails, I will go after you later. And then he's like, and then mostly disappears. Naruto's mostly feeling sick there. She's like, oh crap, and Sakura's like, oh crap, the poison. It's okay, Naruto, I'm gonna get you, and stuff like that. So technically, they go back to the village there, and they mostly report about Sasuke's failure there, or mostly they failed to get Sasuke back there, and mostly they made a promise there. So yeah, and that's where the uh, part 20 ends. So in the next one, we're finally going into the war arc. Yeah, this what if is going to be a little bit shorter, but yeah, it's going to be we're finally going to the war arc. So yep, uh, comment, rate, and response to Studio Bros. We like love most. Please grab for the notification from civil westerns. Comment, response to Studio Bros. Like out and peace.